Hello and welcome to the reading and explanation and I guess interpretation of quite a novel from quite the game. The game is called Skyrim, Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim. The story is The Lusty Argonian Maid. Now, for those of you who have never heard of Skyrim or any of the Elder Scrolls games, Argonian are a bunch of humanoid lizard people. So, keep that in context. And so it begins with Act 4, Scene 3. This is directly from the game. The Argonian Maid's name is Lifts Her Tail. And then the, I assume, Nordic man is Kolto. I'm going to say that because it's easy to pronounce. So, it'll alternate between Lift Her Tail and Kolto. I will not keep the distinction, so keep that in your mind. Let us begin Act 4, Scene 3. Lifts begins. Certainly not, kind sir. I am here but to clean your chambers. Is that all you have come here for, little one? My chambers? I have no idea what you imply, master. I am but a poor Argonian maid. So you are, my dumpling, and a good one at that. Strong legs and a shapely tail. You embarrass me, sir. Fear not. You are safe here with me. I must finish cleaning, my sir. The mistress will have my head if I do not. Cleaning, eh? I have something for you to polish. Here, polish my spear. But it is huge. It could take me all night. Plenty of time, my sweet. Plenty of time. So let me break that down for you. So this maid, this poor lizard lady maid, is cleaning this guy's chambers. Now, it doesn't say if he learns right there. It should, because chambers is like an innuendo for the genital area. So it goes on. And the Kolto is making awkward sexual advances. She doesn't know how to react. So she has no idea what he is implying. And this goes on for a little bit. And he comforts her, saying, no need to fear, you're with me. Right? And then he pulls out his spear. Now, the spear is a long wooden tube with a pointy end. That kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of like a penis, which is also another long tube type thing, right? But then, see, that doesn't have you sold immediately. But she says it's so huge it could take me all night. Now for those of you, this could be. Now for those of you who are not, I guess, the mind in the gutter type of people, you will just think, oh, he's like his weapon spear. But no, it's called the Lusty Argonian Maid. Lusty, lust, sex, that type of thing. So she's obviously going to give Kolto a nice polish on his spear. So she's going to give him a hand job. Now, that ends that. But now we are on to Volume 2. Out of 2, and this is actually 6, my bad. Scene 2. It starts with Lift and goes back and forth for Kolto. My goodness, that's quite a loaf, but however shall I fit it in my oven? The loaf isn't ready for baking, my sweet. It has yet to rise. If only we could hurry that along. How could I accomplish such a task? Oh, my foolish little Argonian maid, you must use your hands. You wish me to knead the loaf here? Of course. But what if the mistress catches me? Your loaf was meant to satisfy her appetite. Don't fret, my delicate flower. I'll satisfy the mistress's cravings later. Very well, but I'm afraid my oven isn't hot enough. It could take hours. Plenty of time, my sweet. Plenty of time. Again, this time there isn't the subtle, oh, you're just cleaning my chambers type of thing. No, it's a little bit straight into there. So that's quite a loaf. Now, the term loaf, even when I read it for the first time, I was a little confused on what the term loaf meant. But if you use the context clues from the earlier reading, or the, the later reading that you read in this passage, you will see that the loaf represents his penis again. So it went from spear to loaf. The spear made sense, but the loaf thing, that's kind of weird. And also, you can get a hint of this when it says, but however shall I fit it in my oven? And if you go back to passage 1, it says, but it's huge, it could take me all night. So you already know that his penis is quite large. And I was saying, how can I fit it in my oven? And for those of you who are less adept, the oven, in this context, means your vagina. Now, this man wants to stick his large penis in this lizard maid. So just keep that in mind, okay? And then it continues. It gets a little bit more sexual in this part. The loaf isn't ready for baking, my sweet. It has yet to rise. Now, what this means is that his penis is not erect yet. And it's hard to have sex when your penis is not erect. And for those of you who don't know what erection is, it's when the spongy fluid inside the penis fills with blood, making it, I guess, sturdier. That's a nice way of putting it. So it has yet to rise, which means he has a floppy, okay? You can't smash with a floppy. That's not how it works, okay? But she asks, how could I hurry this along so she can cook his loaf, if you would like to put it that way. And then he continues, you must use your hands. So again, she give him a hand job. Like, right? So they can have sex. Okay? But you can kind of tell. Hello, insects? Insects. Hey! I'm doing it! Okay, whatever. And then she continues, you wish me to knead the loaf here. Now that means that they're in an area they probably should not be doing this in, such as people at my school were doing such an activity in the cafeteria, and that was a questionable act because it was in the school cafeteria, and that's not a good place for that, okay? And he says, of course. And then she's still afraid, like, she's still scared that the mistress could catch me. And then she continues, with isn't your loaf meant to satisfy her appetite? Which means that his penis is not meant for her. But I don't think Colto cares at all, because he says, don't fret, my delicate flower, I'll satisfy my mistress later. Okay, and so, by now, I guess the Argonian Maid is into it, because she says, very well, but I'm afraid my oven isn't hot enough, it could take hours. Which means that, like, she isn't turned on, so that having sex will take a long time. And Colto reassures her, once again, plenty of time, my sweet, plenty of time. Now, in a game where you fight dragons, and, like, slay bandits and fight vampires, and then, like, just a bunch of crazy things, you wouldn't think there'd be some poorly written fan fiction and all of that. But there is. And I don't even know. And obviously, we're still missing major parts, because the only parts I could find was Act 4, Scene 3, and Act 6, Scene 2. So we're still missing all of Act 1 through 3, parts of Act 4, Act 5, and there could be things after Act 6. I'm pretty sure there's going to be, if we hypothesize and find what the next thing will be, there'll probably be a little bit of drama. Probably the mistress will walk in on the Lusty Argonian Maid with Colto here, I'm gonna say Nordic man. So that can be interesting. Or the mistress and the Argonian Maid also have an affair. So it's quite a mess. And yeah, so take it for what you will, but it's very, very indirect. Because honestly, if you are like 7 and don't know what like sex is, this all seems very very normal. Like the first one, it's just like she's here to clean his room, and he's in there, and he wants his spear cleaned. So maybe stabbing people, there's blood on it. That makes sense. But and then the second one, they're making bread. Okay, so like if you're younger or not dirty-minded, or like a Mormon or something, it's probably pretty easy to tell that it's not sexual. But if you're not any of those, you obviously can tell this is quite an erotic story. But that's all I have for today. If you enjoyed this type of reading and stuff like that, please like, favorite, and subscribe and all that jazz. And comment other stories I should read. I'm gonna leave them at like something that's not stupidly long, and I'll do like fan fiction that people wrote, or like other stories from other games. I really don't care, because I can find it all. Just like, tell me what you want, and I guess I will clam you guys later.